Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick.
And my name is Chris. And Nick, what do we got in store today?
Today, Chris, we're going to be talking about Elrond or EGLD and why we invested in the project. So this is something that was suggested to us by one of our viewers. We did a little bit of a scuba dive, if you will, on our live stream on Sunday. And yeah, the very next day we're doing some research into it, and we made an investment. So we kind of wanted to kind of cover out why we did that and what our thoughts are, etc. So guys, if you do find it useful and informative, do go ahead and smash that like button. And if you're new here, do go ahead and subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with all the videos and live streams that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, with that said, let's jump on over to the desktop and see what's going on with Elrond and why we made these investments in the project.
Super, let's do it.
Right, so here we are on elrond.com and we're just in the technology section, right? So we were doing a bit of a scuba dive on the project on Sunday, talking about what the project is all about, right? And ultimately, it's basically built for internet scale, right? So it's highly scalable, fast and secure blockchain, and it's been built for internet scale, right? Obviously, you have the white paper in the GitHub here as well, so you can do the investigations further if you want to. But this video is going to be mainly about why we saw value in this project, right? So obviously the adaptive state sharding is absolutely massive and is completely required. And the proof of stake and consensus mechanism is obviously a lot more powerful than the POW, which is obviously very wasteful, etc. So that's fantastic as well. The Elrond VM is a fantastic concept as well, and we'll get into what's going on there as well, because that is going to be one of the main things for myself. Along with some other fundamentals within the project that make this absolutely fantastic. Obviously, the EGLD token is a new token that replaces the old Elrond token, right? And it was a ratio of 1,000 to 1. So 1,000 old tokens equal 1 new token. And that's it's important to understand what's going on there. So obviously, when you have the EGLD, you have the ability to govern and make decisions on the network. You obviously have staking capabilities, transactions, smart contracts, and you can get validator rewards as well, which is absolutely fantastic. So the network structure is basically shards, right? So I think most people should be familiar with shards, wouldn't you say, Chris? Yeah, with the concept of it.
I would have thought so
By now, but if not, then do dig a little bit deeper, go to elrond.com and you'll go into what's going on there. But think of this as parallel, chains, if you will, that basically allow you to do multiple things all at the same time. So it basically scales out the transactions and things like that. Meta chain. So the meta chain is the blockchain that runs in a special shard where the main responsibilities are not processing of transactions, but basically finalizing and processing the shard block headers, facilitating basically metadata within the blockchain, which is fantastic. So and it's obviously controlled quite heavily. It's just a fantastic thing that you do have this meta chain as well, and a few other blockchains have this along with shards, right? And nodes, nodes is a computer or a smartphone or a server, right, running the Elrond client and basically relaying messages received from its peers, right? So nodes can fulfill roles of validators, observers, and fishermen, providing different support levels to the network and earning potential rewards, right? So fantastic, you do have that. Whole part of decentralization relies on nodes, and I think most people should know that already. But it's a good, to kind of just get that basic structure listed out there as well. So validators, observers, and fishermen, those are the three kind of levels. I won't go into the details, but basically, you can earn rewards and you can participate at various different levels. Comparative overview. It obviously can be compared to Ethereum and Algorand as the two that they're kind of looking at. And it's interesting because we are invested in Algorand. Chris, are you invested in Ethereum currently?
I'm not, but I am looking at getting back into Ethereum. I do think it's going to do really well.
Yeah, so obviously Ethereum currently is the POW algorithms, but Ethereum 2.0 moves away from the proof of work to proof of stake. So Ethereum 2.0 basically then does become a competitor in a direct sense. And obviously Algorand's fantastic as well. And we'll probably do some more independent videos on Algorand as well. Here's the roadmap, which is fantastic. So if we look at Q1 for 2021, they obviously have a launch there. They have staking and DeFi. They have a decentralized exchange that are planned to roll out, as well as a DeFi 2.0 module and a name service. And in Q2, they're planning basically a DeFi digital identity and a DeFi interoperability, which is absolutely massive as well. And the interoperability thing is absolutely crucial for what the future looks like. So that's a real key thing to make sure, or at least it was a key thing for me when I was making my investments, to know that they were interoperable in that sense. And obviously you can stay up to date, etc. Right? So from a technology point of view, this is fantastic to kind of have that overview. And the other thing that kind of really caught my attention whilst doing some research, Chris, was the fact that they're going to be listed on eToro. This was obviously one of the main exchanges that are out there, and there's not many currencies that are listed on eToro. So Elrond to be listed there is absolutely fantastic, and that's going to happen on the 23rd as well. So that's fantastic. And here's a little bit of a release from Elrond themselves, right? So talking about this, they're excited to announce that EGLD will be joining the list of cryptocurrencies available in eToro ecosystem by listing on EToroX. So really good stuff there. So one to watch out for in the coming days on that one. And if we carry on here, we can see that EGLD becomes eligible for institutional adoption with assured custody and robust regulatory compliance via BitGo, right? So it's really good to see that they're insured for custody, and the regulatory compliance is also there via BitGo. This basically means that this project can be adopted by institutions, right? In the same way that Bitcoin is being adopted by institutions, right? So for me, this could be something that could easily go into, let's say, Grayscale, portfolio, for example. They could start selling to their clients, Elrond, right? And just think about the potential on that is absolutely massive. So something really interesting I found that this meant a lot to me when I was making my investments, Chris. And I'm not sure if it meant the same to you.
Yeah, no, it really did, Nick. Like for me, it's music to my ears when I look for an investment. Definitely.
Exactly. And so if we move on slightly, the other thing that I spoke about briefly was the virtual machine, right? And this virtual machine here, which is the basically the 𝗕𝗠𝗠𝗠𝗘𝗥𝗦 or WASM VM. This is the smart contract. It basically controls the execution of smart contracts, plays a crucial role in the modern blockchain networks, right? So vital. And Elrond has built a fast and secure virtual machine for this purpose, and it's called 𝗕𝗠𝗠𝗠𝗏. And because 𝗕𝗠𝗠 VM executes web assembly, it also means that it can execute smart contracts written in any programming language that can be compiled to WASM bytecode. And this is basically, such languages as C, C++, Rust, Go, TypeScript, and many others. And this is something that's absolutely fantastic. This is something that Cardano Network are also doing with their smart contract platform. So really good to see that you're not just narrowing it down to like Ethereum-based languages like Solidity or whatever. This basically now gives you a much wider pool of developers who can then build upon the network. So absolutely fantastic from an adoption point of view when they start seeing things like that. So yeah, really, really good. And the other thing I wanted to point out here was how fast this virtual machine works in comparison to others, right? So you have Elrond here, it computes in 3.9 milliseconds, whereas the EVM or the Ethereum virtual machine is 91 milliseconds. So you can just see the vast difference. It's by far the fastest, right? At least, you have EOS, I guess, also on there is a little bit faster, but ultimately, even the Fibonacci is 16 milliseconds, which is nothing is getting close to that really. The string appending, that's 6.7 seconds. Closest one to that is the IOST at 9 milliseconds. So by sheer comparison, it is so much faster of a network than something like Ethereum. So, obviously this can be running the standard Ethereum, whether 2.0 really scales up. But to put it into context for you, Polkadot is 220 milliseconds for computing. Fibonacci is here at 832 milliseconds, and string appending is down at 380 milliseconds. So, compared to Polkadot, Elrond is completely superior, right? It's fantastic to see. So those are the kind of the main kind of highlights from the website there and what's going on in the background. The other thing I'm just going to do is I'm going to pull up 𝗕𝗪𝗀𝗃𝗪. I'm just going to go and find Elrond here, EGLD, right? So obviously it's 12% up today, which is fantastic. Currently trading at $28. But that's not what I was really going to point out here. What I was going to point out was the maximum supply of EGLD here, Chris, is only 31,415,926 EGLD. Now, if we put that into context, that's only approximately 10 million more tokens than Bitcoin. Okay, for something that is on the same kind of scale and speed as many other blockchains, and much faster in terms of virtual machines. I think having something that has a very low maximum supply, like 31 million, plus everything that it's actually doing from a technical point of view, and where it's trying to do going forward, this thing I feel is going to absolutely take off, Chris. I can't see a future where Elrond or EGLD is not in the thousands of dollars per token and not such a small market cap. So and the other thing, I'm just going to scroll down, guys. You can see what's going on with this here, right? It's absolutely fantastic to see. But beyond that, we can bring up our chart here. And this is what it looks like, guys. Then that is just absolutely taking off like a rocket currently. So we have some really interesting stuff happening here. So it obviously started, or the new token was launched in September. We had a bit of a downward trend there, trading sideways, and then boom, right on the 2nd of December here, we started getting some significant movements, and it's just been rallying upwards ever since. So it's really going to be key to see how this plays out in the next year, in 2021. I feel that this is going to absolutely explode, Chris. I think buying it at these low levels that we bought it in is just not going to be seen again. This is like almost representing Bitcoin in the early days. So yeah, what is your thoughts, Chris, on Elrond? Obviously we've gone over quite a few of the technical things there as to what really stuck out and like hit home for us. And obviously we've seen the chart and the pricing currently. But what's kind of like your things you want to leave the audience with?
Like for me, you pretty much covered everything that I think is really important to cover for everybody watching. And the max supply, again, like we were bought into the project reading up on it, and then we looked at that and we were like, that completed it for me. And I know you were the same, Nick.
Absolutely.
But then to look at how well it's performing since we sort of bought in, again, is just it's amazing to see. And I think that it's likely to continue as well. And I think you're right. I think it's one of those projects that we're probably not going to see these prices for much longer, and then at all. I do think it's a really good project, and I think it looks like it's going to do really, really well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just looking at its market cap is $416 million, and just imagine what would happen if you had 5 or 10 billion flowing into this particular project once those institutions really get hold, because ultimately they can get involved with EGLD here. So absolutely fantastic. And yeah, guys, I think this is something you want to be doing your own research on, dig deep, find out a little bit more about it. But not financial advice. But if I have in my position made an investment, Chris in his position has made an investment, I do strongly recommend doing some research into Elrond and EGLD, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with what you find. So as always, guys, if you did find this useful and informative, do go ahead and smash that like button for Chris. He really appreciates it, as do I. And if you are new here, do go ahead and subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with all the videos and live streams that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And with that said, we hope you have a fantastic day, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah, take care, everyone.